dive on this week's Garbage People and a look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I'm your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. What's up, girl?
Babe, I have a question for you real quick.
Tell me.
Okay. If you could turn into any animal at will, what animal would you pick?
Gorilla.
Okay. And why?
Because they are strong enough to rip someone's arm off for sport.
Okay.
And they're big.
Yeah.
And I just feel like no one, for some reason, being confronted with a wild gorilla is scarier than a lion or something like that.
Okay.
Because what are you going to do? Or bear? Yeah. Everyone knows what to do with a bear. Do you know what to do if a gorilla is right in front of you?
I mean, I would just try to pretend like I was his baby so it would pick me up in its big old arms. I would be like, it's a little baby. You know, I would not know.
Sure. Could try. Why? What are you going to morph into?
Okay, my answer is panda.
Okay.
A bear. No one expects anything from pandas. There are no expectations on pandas. They cheer for you when you mate. You aren't scary, but you can still fuck somebody up. Pretty bad, right? You just get to eat bamboo and nap. And then in China, there are people who are professional baby panda bear holders and huggers. You pay like $30 an hour just to hold a baby panda. Can you imagine just being held like it's someone's job to do it? A panda.
Yeah. So I went for self-defense and you just went for comfort
but pandas
leisure.
They can mess somebody up. You know, I could. I'm sizable, but I don't really I think I have like a little apathy. Pandas have a little
I've never seen a video of a mean panda, but I don't think I want to. I think ignorance is bliss.
I know one that does Kung Fu. They made a couple documentaries about him. The Kung Fu Panda. I don't know if you've seen those documentaries. Those pretty good.
Yeah, the ones that Jack Black narrates.
Yes. No,
totally.
my friend Ryan Green, right before we were recording, texted me that question. If you could turn into any animal, what would you be? And I was
interesting.
Like, great.
I have a question for you as well.
Yeah.
So, we've talked about this before about how we both kind of keep documents like trash documents, so that we can quickly pull why we're trash or whatever. I found in my trash document a sentence that I don't remember what the origin was. So my question is for you. Do you know what I'm talking about here? I said, I want to watch this gay priest orgy movie. What am I talking about?
Yes. In the Vatican, the old Pope got a bunch of priests in trouble because they were hosting orgies at the Vatican apartments. It was reported by one Italian source and then picked up from there. But yeah,
got it. Okay. Yeah. I had a feeling you'd remember. I'm like, why would I need to know that?
Yes, gay Vatican orgies. And that's, we'll see. Got to clean up the clergy, the clergy.
The clergy.
Oh my goodness. I have a question for you. Another question.
Okay.
This is just a series of questions. Let's say it's you, Taylor, and another person. There's 3 of you, and you're going to sit, and you have to sit in a row. Now, let's say you're number 1, Taylor's number 2, and the other person is number 3.
Okay.
What is the craziest order the 3 of you can sit in?
The craziest. Where are we sitting?
Okay, so let's say we're sitting in a row to concert, right? So 2, 1, 3 is me. It's you in the middle between Taylor and me, right? 2, 1, 3, pretty good configuration.
Okay.
1, 3, 2 is fucking crazy.
Like having the stranger in between us?
Yes. A little. No. That's not the crazy. That one's okay. That one's okay. But I think 1, 2, 3 is the craziest one. You, Taylor, me. I'm just for example's sake, but if you're sitting with a couple, depends on who you're the better friend to. There's just so many ways you can do it. I had that come up for me at a concert recently.
Why is it that crazy that you think it'd be weird for it to go me, Taylor, you?
2,
because
3,
you're
1.
Because you're closer to me.
Let's say I'm obviously, I know you and Taylor well, but like,
Where's the aisle? Where's the aisle?
We're in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I feel like whoever this odd man out is probably going to have to be on either my side or Taylor's side because I'm sitting next to him.
Oh,
because who else am I going to lean over to and be like, can you go get me more wine?
Right. At one point, I was in a configuration of 2-3-1, and I was like, this isn't it. This isn't it one bit. There's just so many ways that can be right and can be wrong.
I mean, depending on how close the person is, I don't think it's ever wrong, but
sure. Second time meeting someone, spouse or something, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably want to sit next to the person you know better.
You're pulling a 1, 2, 3? Absolutely
like,
not.
why are you trying? Yeah, why are you trying to get me to get to know them so fucking?
Yeah,
bad?
I don't want to know them. I barely want to know you. No, I was just sitting there, and I was like, we moved at one point, but it was instigated by a person I knew better, and I was like, yeah, thank God, because this configuration was crazy. Anyway, I also got shushed at that. I was pretty trashy. I got shushed at a concert recently, an outdoors concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
Someone shushed you?
I guess I got shushed by the lady in front of me.
You must have been getting rowdy.
I mean, I guess I got shushed and I was mortified. But all right, this has been some good Q&As.
Sure. It's the Q&A portion of the podcast.
Q&A portion of the podcast.
Right.
Because why are you trash?
Well, I'm going to do some historical trash, And one time, so my cousin was in town in LA, and this was post high school, but like not super post high school. Anyways, I don't know. I think it matters that it's post high school though. And I had the idea because my mom wasn't in town. I don't know where she was, but she wasn't, but we were in her apartment for sure. Like, hey, we should invite some people over and like play beer pong. And this is in an apartment. You don't play beer pong in apartments, but I do. So we have a little beer pong party and we play for a really long time. And like, this is like around the time of my life where, I had the energy to like party until the sun came up. Yeah. But anyways, we drank a lot. And so everyone left. Don't ask me how they got home. Probably not safely. I don't know. But we drank a lot, my cousin and I, and to a point where we felt like, might be time to vomit. Oh. So she went first. It was like throwing up. And I was like, idiot. But I'm like also cleaning up. Maybe my mom was working because my mom used to work night shifts. I don't know. I needed to clean up though. And then I was like, I need to throw up now too. And so I went to the bathroom and she's throwing up in the toilet. And I go, move. I need to throw up. And she's like, I am throwing up now. And I'm like, okay, well, throw up in the shower because I need to throw up. And she was like, literally, I'm throwing up right now in the toilet. You throw up in the shower. And I was like, God, you got to go. Because I was drunk. Yeah. No logic. And I was like, no, you got to move now because I'm going to throw up. I need to throw up really bad. Like, you have to move. Yeah. And I forced someone who was already using the toilet to move their vomit to the shower so that I could throw up in the toilet. I don't know why that memory came back to me recently, but it did. And to this day, the logic is just not there. Yeah. But, there's not a lot of logic when it comes to being a trash queen. So take that. Why are you trash?
Well, mine's a historical trash. And I was a trash queen from being a baby. I was full of what some might call leadership potential. I was always exerting leadership. In fact, I've been looking, my grandmother passed away, and I've been looking through a bunch of old family photo albums, and most of them from about 6 and under is just me basically giving an adult instructions, or like, there's just so many where I'm like pointing my finger and then like, oh, you go over here, like just telling adults what to do through photographs.
You're like a a foreman.
Yes, I really was. That's how I saw myself. Yeah, I was like, all right. Oh, the dishes need to be done. Great. Why don't you come in here and I'm not going to do them. No, of course. No, I'm going to facilitate you two doing them. Yeah,
hey, delegation is an important skill.
So important. But I stumbled across one photo. Okay, so while I was full of leadership with adults, I didn't always interact with other kids. So I went to preschool. This was the time I was about 4. I was in a preschool. And for some reason, we were allowed to play on the same playground during the same time as some like 5th and 6th graders. Scary. Well, I was, of course, the coolest, pre-K kid and was hanging out with the 5th and 6th graders. Again, not a situation that should happen. 4 and like 11, not a lot in common at that age yet. And they told me all the cool kids eat grass.
Of course they did.
They're like, oh, no, yeah, we all do it. And I was like, of course I do it too. I just want to make sure you guys knew about, instantly. Yeah, of course I eat grass. Yeah. Yeah. Like, there's some good grass over there. You want to go eat it? I was like, obviously it's good grass. Yeah, I know what good grass looks like. I ate grass. And we found out because my poop was green. But then, babes, the minute they stopped having us be with the older kids in any way, and I then became the senior statesman of the playground, I convinced other children to eat grass.
Pre-K 4-year-old cycle.
I was like, oh yeah, you guys don't eat grass? No, we all eat grass here. The cool kids eat grass. The other 4-year-olds were like, yep. So instantly the minute I have like the second of upper hand with another 4-year-old, I was like, yeah, you gotta eat grass. So anyway, just a little asshole.
I have a little bit of beef with you, and I'm gonna forgive you because maybe you just didn't remember, but at Taylor's birthday party a couple years ago, I was telling a story that was very similar about how like the punk kids that I was hanging out with in middle school all would eat dog treats. And so I ate a dog treat, and everyone there, including you, said, that's crazy, Kat. I'm sorry. What is this story? What? You're insane. And I don't remember ever hearing from you a moment of solidarity. You jumped in with my cool friends and made fun of me.
It's a vicious cycle. I'm sorry. I had to be on top.
I'm going to let it go. But like, I just think it's funny that, here we are in the privacy of our podcast. But when we're out in public with a bunch of my friends and Taylor's friends, and I admit that I ate dog treats because the other punk kids ate dog treats, no, you weren't to be found.
You're standing alone. That's
well, you were to be found, but you were to be found on the side of people.
No,
mocking me in shock.
Look down in those grassy footprints, and you'll see that there was one set of footprints, and that's where I was carrying you with my grass eating. All right, but what would make you, gain a bunch of weight? Eating dog treats and grass is probably if you were a cat. So let's get into our first story about a pretty fat cat.
All right.
From NBC4.I. NBC4i.com. A gloriously gluttonous body. A fat cat goes up for adoption and he weighs 40 pounds. Aww.
So Lord, he coming.
Oh, God. This 40-pound cat was put up for adoption by Richmond Animal Care and Control in Virginia. He is on a diet and exercise plan to get that number down. He has been neutered, tested, and chipped. And they say he's a very sweet guy. I bet he is until you come between him and his food.
Hello.
Sorry, it's not a fat person doing it. That's an animal joke. But, they put him on social media, of course, because cops and animal rescues love a Facebook moment. And they said they were looking for a new owner who would be committed to help the cat reach a safe and healthy weight. So domestic cats' ideal weight depends on breeds and sex, but you usually be able to feel its ribs and see its waist from above. And if you can't feel that cat's ribs, the
Damn,
baby's
if you
about
can't
to
see, you can't see that slim waist.
that fat ass slim waist on a little cat. Wait. I think I've gone on I'm reading a different paragraph. Hold on. But Facebook posts had tons of comments and shares, and the group said the adoption is pending as of now. So the fattest cat known to man went to Hemi, 46-pound cat from Australia, who was so big he needed to be moved around in a wheel. Oh no.
You
Oh
can't
no.
let cats get fat like that.
You can't move them in a wheel. Oh my God. So I'm gonna cry. The category ceased. The Guinness Book of World Records says they stopped hosting this category because they didn't want people to encourage the overfeeding of their pets just to appear in the book. This is giving me. Have you seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Oof. No.
Good.
I'm pretty
your
sure that
sanity.
that's not about fat cats, though.
No, but it's about, so their mom is so fat, and I think she dies in the
How
house.
fat is she? Sorry.
She's so fat, she dies in the house. And then they just set it on fire because otherwise they would have to drag her out of it without. I think it's been a long time since I've seen it, but that movie messes me up.
I've never seen it, but I've heard random things about it, and everything I hear about it is different. And I've never heard that part of it. So this honestly sounds like one of the craziest movies ever made.
It truly is. Little Leonardo DiCaprio just acting his little butt off, but he's like so sad because mama, I can't get into it. But so this cat's fat, but I bet it's not very fast, but it is typically pretty fast.
A horse.
In fact, that's how we gauge miles. It's by, cars still have horsepower equivalency.
Does that have anything to do with real horses, though?
Yeah, it was like how many horses could carry XYZ load. I swear that's what I've heard. Like, like a 400 horsepower truck. Let's say it can carry 20,000 pounds. I'm just making up figures. It would take 400 horses to carry 20,000 pounds.
And people still care about that metric, knowing, like, how do you figure that out still?
Babe, Americans are still on the inch. Everyone else in the world's like, you mean 3.7 meters? And we're like, no.
I suppose
this little one we made up called inches.
I suppose that horsepower is about as up to date and current as the Second Amendment. So,
boom. Well,
oops.
In our next story from thedailybeast.com, some feral horses were named as plaintiffs in a lawsuit over embattled U.S. island.
Feral horses were named as plaintiffs in a lawsuit over an embattled U.S. island. This is a group of non-native feral horses on Cumberland Island, which is off of Georgia's southeast coast. And they've been named as the plaintiffs against the federal government and the National Park Service. Now, do you think that they obtain their own counsel, or is this just something else?
Absolutely. When you pass the bar, as a horse lawyer, it's you put yourself out to, you advertise to horses, just like, an accident lawyer would have a billboard that says Sweet James. In an accident, Sweet James, or it's like you just got to figure out where you advertise. I'm sure that this guy, horse lawyer, advertised to these feral horses appropriately, and they called him up and put him under counsel. Yeah.
Now, quick question: the bar, I'm pretty sure that that's more for sheep.
I don't. How many horses have you been around?
You know what? Touche.
Farm kid. You know what I mean?
Farm kid.
What a weird brag. But yeah, basically, the horses have standing in bringing a suit in their own right. Says, according to the lawsuit, use the example. It cited case law from the former court ruling Loggerhead Turtle versus Volusia County Council that recognized the wildlife as plaintiffs. So there is precedent for this.
And their parents are not proud of them, by the way. These lawyers. I'm going to go to law school, Dad. Or I'm finally going to law school. I'm going to represent animals. It's impossible, son. I'm going to do it. My first client is a turtle.
Your Uncle Brendan went to law school and he orates in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, well, who else is going to fight for these turtles,
Yeah, damn. I hope that dad takes that in and really hears that,
Yeah, me too.
That was a beautiful plea. It was an emotional plea. And I hope that his dad understands that horse lawyer now. But
these made up people.
These made up people. But really, it's a metaphor for a lot of things. You can insert yourself in that conversation and use that with your own whoever you're battling. You know what I mean? Like, use this as a framework. This is really just an example. So
we need to tell the people why these horses have a case. Otherwise, we just brought this up for sillies.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
And we're journalists. We don't just work in sillies.
Of course. So, why do they? Oh, so the lawsuit alleges that the habitat surrounding the animals on Cumberland Island's National Seashore has been gradually damaged by the equines and that they should therefore be moved off the island. In the filing last week, the Interior Secretary and the Park Services officials are named as the defendants in the case. So basically, these horses are saying, hey, that stuff that you let us live on? Yeah, well, we've been fucking it up a lot. So you should move us somewhere else.
So they're suing for a ride?
Basically, yeah, they went off the island. They said that their land has been damaged, but it's been damaged by the horses. It's not like, oh, we've been logging or drilling oil on this island.
How much is this costing the taxpayers in Georgia?
Not enough.
Okay.
Not enough. So basically, these horses are like, yeah, we fucked it up and we'd like you to pay for that and then move us somewhere else so that we can fuck that up. So I like this. I like how these horses think.
I want to also just say these horses are like nothing. These are people. Look, I'm all for rights, animal rights, but like these horses don't know what they don't know.
Well, there's 140 to 170 of them on this island. So
I guess somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. And people will sue for just the craziest thing.
I love the logic with this next couple from paddleyourown.canoe.com. This couple lost their court case, unfortunately, because they sued an airline over the 2 Aperol spritzes that they had to buy waiting while their flight was delayed. They said, you guys owe us about $40.
Yeah.
Because we had to get a couple drinks waiting for this flight.
That was eventually canceled.
Yeah, it was eventually canceled. So they're like, you really owe us money now. But you know why they lost is because Aperol spritzes are a dehydrating thing and you shouldn't drink things that dehydrate you before a flight. That's why they lost. That's crazy.
Damn. And it's a German couple in a German court. So I would assume that Europe has some pretty consumer protective laws, like the European flights, like if you're delayed, you get compensated. Like the EU has some pretty strict grounds, but I don't see them reimbursing the 2 Aperol spray.
Yeah.
Damn. Yep. So the couple had flown from Hanover to Miami with a short stopover in London. And then they were to return to Hanover with stopovers in New York and London. They had already suffered a 3-hour arrival delay on the way to Miami, but then had even worse luck on the way home. But, I get it. I mean, save those receipts because at one point, one of these lawsuits are going to go your way. That's what I say. Save those receipts.
Totally. I mean, you don't know until you try, although lawyers are pretty expensive.
The ruling doesn't necessarily define for future claims brought by passengers, but it could influence future court rulings and act as a precedent. So don't drink something alcoholic, reimburse your chicken tenders.
Yeah.
Chicken tendies, put the alcohol on your own tab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Cass, these are we did headlines last week, and we've got some today that we just thought the headlines was enough of the story.
From the New York Times, a widow said that her husband was left in a drinks cooler after dying on a cruise. That's crazy.
Yeah. Instead of like the proper freezing, he basically like already started to decompose. Bad stuff. From the dailybeast.com, Spanish king had to keep secret daughter from falling in love with his son.
Could have couldn't have predicted that was going to happen to him, I bet.
Yeah.
From thepinknews.com, a man dies after using glue to seal his penis shut instead of wearing a condom. Because
don't do that.
Yeah, men would rather glue their penis shut than use a condom, I guess.
Put saran wrap on like you're in a play of Grease. Do anything but that. Like,
don't put saran wrap on your penis either. Just use a condom. Don't give them alternative advice.
But do you know what scene I'm talking about from Grease?
No, I don't. That's crazy.
So when they're in the auto shop, there's a joke where they like rub saran wrap like that, like they gotta do this. And in the original,
I can't see you.
Yeah, I realize that. But in the original stage play, essentially, there was more saran wrap, and it was like, oh, don't wear a Jimmy, just wear this type deal. And so they kept a little bit of it in the movie where they just have saran wrap around. Anyway, it's wild.
Let's get back to stories. These headlines are crazy.
These are crazy. Let's flesh this one out. From insider.com. A Delaware man admitted he drunkenly snapped the thumb off a $4.5 million ancient Chinese statue and swiped it.
I thought I was at a PF Chang's.
Oh, God. He pled guilty in Pennsylvania court on federal misdemeanor charges. He said he was drunk and he snapped off the thumb. And it was in 2018. And it was the theft and concealment of an object of cultural heritage from the museum. And then interstate transportation of stolen property. It could land him up to 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But
he must not have known that was $4.5 million.
I don't know. I mean, I've been pretty drunk and I don't always appreciate circumstances as they are. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm just saying, like, somebody can say, hey, this is the heart of the ocean. It's an invaluable diamond. But if I get close to the ship barrier, I'm probably going to toss it in the ocean anyway. I'm just saying, I mean, you can know the value of something, but not, appreciate it in the moment.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, I bet he did not think it was going to land him with federal charges. He did plead guilty to one misdemeanor count of trafficking in archaeological resources. And he now faces only 1 year in prison, according to a Philadelphia Inquirer article.
Good lawyer.
Very good lawyer. He was attending an ugly sweater Christmas party in Franklin Museum in Philadelphia. Let me just state now, an ugly sweater party should only consist of vintage Christmas sweaters. If you are purchasing a new ugly sweater for said party, you have missed the thread. You have lost you don't get the intention of it. This was a haha, isn't this funny? These teachers would wear these goofy sweaters with like elves knitted onto them. That's an ugly sweater. Your grandma, your postman would wear these genuinely what they thought was decorative and fun. And we now see them as hideous. I hate when people purchase intentionally, quote, ugly sweaters that are brand new for these parties. It's like you're missing the thread, babe.
But don't miss this year when we have our customized trashy, ugly sweaters in our merch store.
Absolutely. We're nothing but capitalists first. Journalists, capitalists, not lawyers.
We're here.
Not a doctor.
I know what you're saying, and I think I
it's a
agree with
personal-
you.
It's a personal gripe.
Here's my beef with
Yeah.
what you said.
Yeah.
Do I think that whatever bullshit sweater you got at Target for your ugly sweater party is valid? No.
Mhm.
But if you found something quite niche,
Yeah.
I'll let it slide.
Sure. If it's and again, the intent isn't this a hideous sweater? Someone at one point said, "Oh my God, this sweater is so great. It's going to fill people with joy." And it was so unintentionally hideous that it's hilarious. You can't set out to make an ugly sweater for the purpose of these parties. This has to be stolen. Like, this has to be joy that was stolen. My mom sometimes sees photos. She's like, "Oh, huh." Like, my sister and I started wearing she's a teacher, her goofy ass Christmas sweaters before this was a trend. And she'd be like, "Oh, you girls look great." And we're like, "We're making fun of you." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I got it." I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe I'm an asshole. Those are not, refuted facts, but it's just to me. It's just to me,
It's a me, Erica.
It's a me, Erica.
Let's take a break for a word from our sponsor.
And welcome back. Hey, Cass, you ever seen a sexy statue?
I've been to the Vatican.
Oh, well then, yeah, you've seen some sexy statues. Have you seen the one that you might describe as too provocative?
Maybe like the ones in a church that are like super gruesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in Italy, southern Italy, from theguardian.com, a mermaid statue is having a bit of a stir, causing a bit of a stir. Oh, that's the article, not me, for being too provocative.
So this is a statue that was created by students at the Luigi Rosso Art School in Monopoli before being positioned in a square. And it's named after a scientist. And it's a mermaid. But everyone is like, damn, that mermaid's got some big titties.
And a fat ol' ass.
My favorite thing is that someone was quoted saying, "It looks like a mermaid with 2 silicone breasts, and above all, a huge arse never seen before on a mermaid. At least not any I know." Sir, do you know mermaids?
How many mermaids do you know? List them all.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, you're a fan? Why don't you list 3 mermaids then?
List 3. Oh, it's truly, I mean, it's perplexing people in this poor town. Hopefully it'll attract further tourists, says one woman. She's like, "I'm amused by it. And I hope, I go see a statue of the fat, and I do the pose. I do the similar pose as the mermaid."
Yeah.
So.
She, the head teacher of the art school defended the statue, saying that it was a tribute to the great majority of women who are curvy, and that the students got together and came up with the idea, and that the council who put this up was shown a model that was scale, like a model of what the statue is going to look like. And they were like, "Looks good. Big old boners all around." And, but it's just weird that this one random square is chosen as like the place to make a statement about curvy women.
We got to make curvy women. We got to take a stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should flock to this city and have like a fat ass mermaid festival.
Sure.
Festival every year.
The thick with 2 C's mermaid festival.
Yeah. Women just with their bosoms and hips and butts and curves, just mermaiding out for everybody. I bet that'd make everybody so mad. We better not do it. I would hate to go to Italy and be surrounded by a bunch of thick old beautiful ladies.
I would hate that.
I would hate it.
Just kidding. It sounds fun. Let's go. Speaking of people who are mad.
Oh, who mad?
From the dailymail.co, David's Bridal has filed for bankruptcy for the second time in 5 years. Now, I'm just going to say this. We've pushed this story back a couple times, so this is old news. So don't come at us and be like, yeah, guys, everyone knows that. We know. They're filing for bankruptcy for the first time, or excuse me, for the second time in 5 years, and they are laying off 9,326 employees over the next 4 months, is what they announced.
That's so sad. They said they have successfully modernized our marketing and customer interaction process and driven our retail services levels to best in class. Nevertheless, our business continues to be challenged by the post-COVID environment and uncertain economic conditions, leading us to take the step to identify a buyer who can continue to operate our business going forward.
Bro,
A
weddings
lot
have
of
never
words
been hotter.
Yes.
The problem is that your guys' dresses
look like poopy. They look
I'll
like
say
poopy.
it. I just got married and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go give David's Bridal a shot because their dresses are cheaper than a lot of other places. And it looks like they have designers that look fine. And then you go and like you're like, okay, this I'm seeing enough online that it might be worth the trip. And then you show up and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
this feels bleak. This
Yeah.
has the energy of, how do I put this? You know, have you ever been to like a metro station that it was recently remodeled and you're like, oh, wow, they did a good job with this.
Yeah.
It still is covered in piss, you know? Like that's the vibe of a David's Bridal. It's like a nice bus stop. So like,
well,
I don't know what they're expecting if they can't fix that part. They haven't. I'll just go ahead and say they have not successfully modernized their marketing and customer interaction processes.
That's fair.
They do not have retail service levels that are best in class.
I agree. Yep.
Their return policy also fucking sucks. But that's the last thing I'll say.
Great. Well, David's Bridal has had to issue apologies in the past for doing business. So they issued an apology in response to irate consumers who saw that pictures of wedding dresses were being vandalized and thrown away. So essentially, they were closing a store down, and instead of one of its smaller chains, Priscilla of Boston, and they were seen spray painting gowns after store closure in Edina, Minnesota. So rather than donate them, they destroy them.
Now, were they destroying them because the employees who were getting fired were mad, or did they get told?
As a matter of company policy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They basically said it's not our policy to make donations of sample dresses that are in poor condition. We recognize that some of these dresses could possibly have gone to worthy causes. But no, it's basically, it's the same way like Louis Vuitton at the end of a season, they essentially burn all of their stock because rather than ever discount it, they'd rather keep what's in circulation. They don't want out of second season, out of season bags going around because if you're a customer that spends $300,000 with Louis Vuitton every year and you carry a purse that reflects all of your purchase, your purchase power. If somebody who buys a Louis Vuitton bag once every 10 years can carry the same bag as you because they've saved for 10 years versus you all the time, they're like, that's what we want. We would rather focus on the person that can spend all that money. We don't want your average hardworking person that's saved up to buy a bag. Have it. That then cheapens the appearance of all of our bags. So David's Bridal's using that model and it's bad. And they should not do that. But, I mean, I get Louis Vuitton, but oh God.
I don't get any of it, but like, I guess it's all just capitalism, as you say. And so I will make a quick plug for a friend of mine named Kelly Sparks. Her YouTube channel and her TikTok and her Instagram actually is Breafcast, BREAFKAST. Breafcast. It's like breakfast, but you switch the F and the K. Why am I plugging her? Well, because she is a dumpster diver and she shines lights on how much people throw away all the time. These places that throw away, like bakeries that throw away food at the end of the day that's not gone bad, or kind of all these businesses that throw away things after the end of a season or like slightly defective things. She's great. And the dumpsters, the things that she finds in the dumpsters are crazy. And now she makes her living on YouTube dumpster diving. So
wow. And it's crazy a lot of times those brands where they throw like, let's say like, bakery away, bakery items away, but they'll fire employees if they try to take them.
I know. I've worked in bakeries before in restaurants, and at the end of the day, if they consider it stealing if you take things that are meant to go into the trash at the end of the day.
So I worked at a gas station in my hometown, the Tiger Paw. We were the Sterling Tigers. I worked at the Tiger Paw, and we had one of those hot plates, where we would have like corn dogs, chicken nuggets, pizza pocket, things that were deep fried and then put in display and kept warm, right? Like a gas station 7-Eleven type deal. Well, let's say they closed at 11 o'clock. Around 10 o'clock, they would start discounting the hot pot, the hot food.
Uh-huh.
And oh man, sometimes you come in there and you'd be like, hey, can I get a corn dog and some little potatoes? And they'd be like, here, I'll just throw in everything that's left for like $3. And you're like, oh my God, score. Or just take it. It's for free. I even, I worked at the Tiger Paw eventually. So I'd been playing the system for years of getting the free food, discounted food. Then I became the person that would have the power to dole out the free food at a certain time of night. Drunk with power, Cassandra, instant power trip. I wouldn't sell you a cigarette if you weren't 18. I wouldn't sell you a drop of alcohol unless you're 21, unless it was by mistake, because I think I one time did think an alcoholic energy drink was non-alcoholic, and I don't know if I ever sold it, but I would give it to anybody. But beside the point, when I got to deal out the hot food at night, when I got to say, not yet, because the high school kids would just be sitting in their cars staring at the gas station, waiting for that free food.
Sure.
And I got to bundle and I got to say who got the food, who didn't, when we discounted it. I mean, I get dictators now. I was drunk on that much power. I was like,
God.
Yeah, I'm like
Hot Pocket
God right now. I'm Hot Pocket God. Oh, you want a chicken taquito? Still full price for you. I just took them out of the fryer half an hour ago. Oh, those little potato wedges that have been sitting there for 8 hours. Yeah, those will cost you $3 still.
Try again, bitch.
Drunk with power. Yeah, it was bad, but I should have gone to church. Is what I should have done. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Where is the time for the dumpster fire of the week?
Is this allowed?
I think you can still be that way to Italians.
Well, I mean, did Chris, what's his name? Who did the voice for Mario in the new Mario movie? Does he have an accent, or did they? I don't know what happened. I thought like they released the trailer and he had an accent and everyone was like, absolutely not. And then did they like re-record the movie with him not doing an accent? Because the most recent Mario trailers I've ever seen, like Mario doesn't even speak. So I feel like they re-recorded everything and said, Chris Pratt, you need to lose the accent. It's crazy.
He's like, it's me, Mario. And they're like, no.
Well, but Anyways, why are we talking about Italians this much? Well, because according to the WashingtonPost.com, hundreds of pounds of pasta mysteriously appeared in the New Jersey woods. What?
Wah, wah, wah. Community activist Nina Jonkowitz said, I didn't expect it to go viral at all. I had no idea the global reach of spaghetti.
This picture is crazy. Imagine, if you will, a forest with just like gigantic piles of spaghetti, one next to the other to the next to the other. Like, is this Banksy?
No, I think this is Big Anthony got in trouble with Stregonona's pot, and then but yeah, it's hundreds of pounds of the mushy spaghetti, macaroni, and ziti. So more than one type of noodle.
Wow, a whole wedding. What if that's what happened? Oh my God. What if there was caterers on the way to a wedding and then time travelers made them disappear, but they left behind the spaghetti?
oh my God, we need to put an APB for the caterers.
What's that?
All points bulletin, like a missing poster, like APB, like
Oh,
it's what the
yeah.
police say. I don't know. They're like,
An
send a
APV. Okay. APB. I thought you said something else. Or like I don't know what I thought you said, but it sounded crazy.
yeah. So basically, out of thin air, all of this pasta started showing up, and they're like, how? How did it get to these tangled mountains? Was a chef angry? Was an unscrupulous restaurant with excessive surplus? An artist making a statement about food waste?
I mean, you can't make a statement about food waste by wasting a bunch of food.
Damn.
Just,
Damn.
just saying. Yeah, everybody went crazy. The internet went crazy. Everyone had funny jokes, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems to still be like a mystery.
Yeah, yeah. It's truly like nobody's claimed the thing.
Also, super
So
bad for the animals.
yeah, this is the like the environmental impact of letting this pasta decompose here. Like animals could eat too much of it that aren't supposed to. Gluten-free squirrel could come upon it. Lots of
Yeah, a deer who's like really just trying to watch his carbs right now, like,
yeah,
could feel tempted by it.
yeah. He's like, I don't have what's it called? Oh wait, fuck. I don't have Hashimoto's, but I tell waiters I do, so that they make
Hashimoto's.
yeah, like when you can't have gluten.
I thought it was called celiac.
Yeah, Hashimoto's is Hashimoto's is like a autoimmune. It's an autoimmune that can result in
It's not called
hypothyroidism.
celiac.
It can no, it is celiac, but Hashimoto's can um gluten and sugars can trigger it.
All right,
Oh, let's do celiac.
make your joke again.
Yeah, like a like a deer could be like, listen, I'm not celiac, but I tell waiters I am just to make sure I don't get gluten in my bread. You know?
Does that make sense?
Does
Is
that
that
make
okay?
sense? Is that okay? Like I'm not like allergic, but like I really can't have it.
I really don't like it.
I just don't like it. No, every gluten-free person I know is like, fuck, I miss gluten. That
Yeah.
have it for legitimate like autoimmune and celiac disease. They're all like, oh, I wish I could have gluten again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just going viral. Basically, people have been it was particularly shared on Reddit. They shared the story on a New Jersey subreddit, writing, I'm sure the comments will not disappoint, only in New Jersey. And of course, somebody said they should send the perpetrators to the penitentiary.
Yeah.
The police won't stop until the perpetrators are identified. It was past the expiration date. Wait, Cass, are you okay? Oh no, are you okay? Have I killed you with puns? Have I killed you with puns?
Some people will commit illegal dumping for silly reasons. Obviously, it's a mystery, but we can only know so much about what happened.
Somebody said, headed to the old bridge with a fork right this instant. And then, of course, people are like, well, Stregonona's been awfully quiet.
Something that only you and a few people know.
She's the grandma witch from the Tommy DePola stories.
Oh, I know. You
She
told
has
me
a
all
magic
about it.
pot that produces so much pasta, and only she knows how to stop it. And then Big Anthony gets in there, and he doesn't know how to stop it. And he makes all the pasta, so all the townspeople have to come and eat to get, anyway, it's really cute. It's really sweet.
Okay.
It's really, really sweet. Really sweet
Sure.
story. I love Stregonona. I love Stregonona. I love Tommy DePola.
Sure.
But yeah, food dumping is no laughing matter. While we've had a lot of fun with the puns, it does take time to biodegrade. Some can be life-threatening to local wildlife and environmental contamination. It's just a big old mess.
Like, don't do it.
Don't do it.
If you think, oh, it's cool, it's just biodegradable. Like, shut up. Okay, one apple core, like, fine, maybe, but like, thousands of pounds of pasta.
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
Erica,
Yes.
what are you hoarding?
Oh, me?
Oh,
I'm
you.
hoarding pasta. No, I'm I'm hosting a really darling show on Netflix. I'm trying to watch it all before I potentially cancel Netflix again because of things that are going on. We support the WGA, but there's a really charming show called Almost Australian, and it features my favorite actress. She's the British actress Miriam Margolyes, and she is married to an Australian lady and got her citizenship back in the day. And she's a new Australian, and so she embarks on a 10,000-kilometer journey to discover what it means to be Australian today. So she goes and she talks to, and this lady is, oh my God, like in her 70s.
Oh, wow.
She's in her 70s. She's in Harry Potter. You've seen her. She's a really charming, delightful actress. She plays one of the professors. I just love her. She's just funny and like curt and short and delightful in that British way. But she's like, I'm an old Jewish lesbian, British Jewish lesbian. I'm Australian too. She's just really delightful. But she visits different people. Like she meets with some of like the first Aboriginal elected politicians in Australia and is like, what does being Australian mean to you? And so they're like, I don't consider myself Australian. I consider myself my tribe affiliation. That was a label imposed upon me. I didn't choose this, and then she'll talk to just really beautiful, but she talks to like old people, young people, people that live in their caravan, people that were immigrants that were seeking refuge here. And then she talks to, there's this Australian concept of mateship. And it's kind of like deep friendship. Like it's in their like citizenship books. Like you have to understand what mateship is, just kind of being a good friend.
Bro code.
Bro code. Yeah. So she goes and she talks to different groups of people that may be opposed to her lifestyle. And she was like, what does mateship mean to you? And it's really cute. I really like her. And she's blunt, but like very good hearted, I think it's a really charming little show. And, Australia, I feel like you share some veins with the United States as far as like, calling the way that all came about a little bit. So it really is quite delightful. So it's called Almost Australian. It's on Netflix. It's really darling. What about you, my dear? What are you hoarding?
This is a TikTok account. If you have TikTok, it's called Avery Woods, Avery Woods, spelled Woods. It's just this woman who like does like daily videos of like her 1-year-old. But she narrates them, and the 1-year-old is, so it's always like, what's up, motherfuckers? I woke up this morning and I'm being a piece of shit. And then I went to like, it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
I feel mixed feelings about people putting their children on the internet, since now that all this stuff is kind of coming out of like these kids who went viral and who like really wish that their parents wouldn't have done that to them.
Yes.
So like, whatever, but I'm not going to go in and tell this woman what to do. I'm just going to enjoy her TikToks with her sassy 1-year-old who maybe isn't that sassy, but she's portrayed to be on the internet. It just reminds me of how my husband and I portray our dog, because we portray her to be very sassy, and who knows, maybe she's very sweet, but I don't think so. I think she's a shit.
We have one cat that we portray as Albanian, from Albania. And I'm just going to say this. I don't know that the accent's offensive, but I know the accent's probably offensive that we give to our little cat. It's fun to give personalities to things that don't have it.
Yeah. Or rather to narrate the personality before they can't speak for themselves.
Yes. The Balkan country, I think it's still okay to do Balkans, Italians. I think it's okay still to do those accents. That's what I'm telling myself. I don't know that for a fact. Anyway,
who's to say?
Who can say?
Yeah. What are you throwing out?
I'm throwing out adults who take children's sports games as if it's their personal state championship in 1978. They hit a ball. Good. We clap. Don't get mad at the ref. Don't scream at them to run to first base if they're running to third base. You know what they're having? a damn good time. And you know what you're going to do is just take it out of them. You know what I mean? Like the joy and the fun that these should be, and the making, getting along with other kids and learning what it means to be a part of a team and all of those things. If you're screaming in the freaking stands, they're not having that fun.
Yeah.
So I just really hate it watching, us put our adult emotions on like 5-year-old hitting a T-ball. Let him hit it.
That's fair.
Let him hit the ball. Yeah. Anyway. What about you? What are you throwing away?
Girl.
Oh no.
GE certified repairman and GE appliances.
Ooh. General Electric.
For all of you.
Get it out. What's going on?
My washer broke. This washer that we have owned for going on, but not quite 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
The computer broke, apparently. Who knows? This man comes into our house. This man who gets paid $133 just to come here. I don't know how much goes to his boss, but it costs $133 to get someone to just come here.
Yeah.
First, he says, "Oh, I think it's your water pressure's bad." And my husband goes, that's crazy. That would be it. Like, because we live in a building. So surely one of our neighbors would have also noticed an issue.
Right.
Please check again. So then he checks again. And so first of all, it's like, you're trying to blame our place rather than the appliance. Why? So you can go home? I don't know, but I think it's kind of a scam. And then he's like, "Oh, it's this computer thing in the washer. So it wasn't your water pressure." And then he goes, "Okay, so here's how much it's going to cost for us to come out and replace it. It's going to be, bitch, it's like almost $780 for them to come and replace it." And when you look at the breakdown of what, first of all, the computer on a 3-year-old washer is broken. They said, yeah. And I was like, why? And he's like, a lot of reasons. I mean, sometimes because these washers connect to Wi-Fi, like if you have it on Wi-Fi the whole time, like it can overheat it. To which I say, don't give the washer Wi-Fi. The washer doesn't even fucking need Wi-Fi. If it's going to burn out the computer in 3 years, don't give the washer Wi-Fi, because no one's asking for a washer with Wi-Fi if it doesn't work. So the part of the $790, the part was $168. The rest of the money was the cost of the labor for them to have 2 guys come out here so that they could lift, or they could move the dryer out of the way and then quickly put in this part. Taylor watched a YouTube video on it. There's many. It's apparently very easy. So we're just going to do it ourselves, because Erica, and every listener out there, I would rather die than pay $780 to have 2 people come out here to change one part that shouldn't be broken. Mark my fucking words. That's more than that washer costs.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
We bought it on sale for $700. And by we, I mean he, but whatever. What's his is mine.
Yeah.
I wasn't even around yet. It doesn't matter. He bought it for $700. A brand new version of it, not on sale right now, goes for $800. So for $20 more, you're saying I could have a brand new one? Fuck you. I know it's not this guy's fault.
Yeah.
GE made a shit piece. I know that it's not his fault that they charge so much to get certified mechanics on it. I know it's not his fault that their warranty only goes for a year. I know. But shouldn't it be illegal in a way? This is one of those things that feels like it should be illegal. Shouldn't it be illegal for businesses to make appliances that break after 3 years? That feels illegal, right? Because it's so expensive. But this is how they make their money, is what people will say. Then capitalism feels illegal. Something feels illegal about it. I feel I need justice. So anyways, we're not doing it. Like I would rather go and do my laundry at a laundromat for 4 months to save up the money to buy a brand new washer and dryer, because we can't just replace it with any other washer, Erica, because it clings. It's a stack with the dryer. So we have to have this wash.
I would recommend listening to the podcast Behind the Bastards. The last two episodes
I've heard it, but tell me the episodes.
The last 2 episodes have been about Jack Welch, who was eventually the CEO of General Electric. And he basically broke capitalism and was a horrible person. But he kind of instituted this like rank and yank, which is kind of like where you'd fire the bottom 10% of managers, regardless of how well they're doing in general. And he just had like brutal candor. He just like used to, you could like have a job, get a pension, have a job, stay places. And he was like, what if everyone didn't? And then they were all of a sudden slaves he's just, I don't know. He's why modern corporate culture in a lot of ways is the way it is. So I would 100% recommend listening to the last couple Behind the Bastards about Jack Welch and GE. So
I don't know if I'm in the headspace to do that, but
you may not be.
Over, I will, but I'm throwing it out. If you're in the market for a new appliance, don't buy a GE appliance.
You heard it here first, people. We're calling for a general boycott of GE.
It's piece of shit. Where can the people find you?
At Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram and on TikTok. That's the best places to find me. What about you, Cassandra?
Find me on this podcast. It's the Trashy Podcast. We put a new one out every Monday, except when we don't. Sorry, it's free. You can find this podcast at Trashy Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And we have a merch store, which is not selling ugly Christmas sweaters yet.
Oh, we love capitalism too. It's trashypodcast.threadless.com, or you can always go to trashypodcast.com, and links to all of this will be on that website. And you can click on a way to support this podcast financially. It helps us keep the lights on, helps us host, helps us buy microphones and upgrade information. You can also leave this podcast 5 stars. And man, will we love a 5-star. Don't make us come to your little kid's t-ball game and start screaming at you if you don't leave us 5 stars. I'll threaten it. I'll put it out there. I'll go to anybody's junior soccer game and just start causing a scene if you don't leave 5 stars, and tell a friend about this podcast. You don't want that.
Don't leave us 4. Don't leave us 3. Don't leave us 2 or 1. If that's how you feel, that's fine. Just don't leave a review. And if you feel like 2 or 1 star, like maybe stop listening. That's like,
that's okay. Yeah. If you just don't like us, that's fine.
For everybody.
Yeah, we get it.
But if you want to help because you like us, the 5-star reviews are really great. And you know what? When I look at a podcast and I go, wow, this podcast has 5 stars from like 100 people, I don't think, oh, that's that they're being paid. I think, wow, there are 100 people who are really passionate about this podcast, and I respect it. I don't think that they're fake. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't think they're fake. Nope. But hey, Cass.
Oh, what's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.